Hey guys, so today we'll be talking about Tesla's customer service, so if you're interested, stay tuned. I had heard from a couple of friends that have Model S's that Tesla's customer service was supposed to be really good, but granted this was a couple years ago before there was like a bazillion Model 3s. So with that said, I do have my own mixed experience with Tesla's customer service that I wanted to share with you guys. When the car was delivered, the delivery specialist told me that I had 72 hours to find any discrepancies with the delivery, and if so, let your local service center know and they would fix it for you no problem and for free. So once I got a chance the next day, I took a look at the car and noticed there were a couple discrepancies, so I'm definitely going to take him up on his offer, and I called the local service center here. So basically what I found were a couple of things. I saw that there was some marks on the seats, 3 different spots, and there was a small paint discrepancy on the back part of the car. So basically I called the Tesla service center that's close to us, and I had told them, hey, the delivery person told me the 72-hour thing, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, oh, sure, yeah, just let's schedule an appointment. That was like 2.5 weeks out. And they were like, also send an email to us so we can, we have a copy with the picture so we know what's going on. And also make sure that your IDA is on that email so they know what's going on. So I did that. I sent both of them an email with the pictures and we made the appointment and it was ready to go. But then the next, over the next week or so, I did notice a couple other things. I noticed that the steering wheel was squeaking when I was turning it every once in a while. There was some of the rubber on the door lining was kind of messed up. It was like pinched. And then also there was like a scratch on the steering wheel itself. And so there's a couple of things I noticed. I was like, well, I already made the appointment. I'll just tell them when I come in. So 2.5 weeks goes by. I bring the car in. They, take a look at it and I go, hey, here's the car. I also noticed, these couple of things, the steering wheel squeak, the door lining, and the steering wheel is kind of scratched. Do you think you guys have time to fix that too? And the guy was like, oh yeah, we'll take a look at it. And, if we have time, we'll fix it. And so basically after that, I waited, I didn't hear anything from Tesla for like 4 or 5 days. And then I pinged them and I was like, hey, cause you can, what they told me is, oh, hey, send us a text and you can either call us or you can send us a text. So I was like, all right, well, I'll text them and just see because I know they're busy. So I texted them let's see. So I brought the car in on a Monday and this was like Thursday afternoon. I was like, hey, Tesla, what's going on with my car? And then I get a text message back later in the day and it's like, your car is in the queue to be looked at. And I'm like, okay, isn't that why I'm in? Well, first of all, yeah, of course it's going to be in the queue, but why did I make an appointment if it's already been 4 days and you haven't even looked at the car yet? So I'm kind of like, okay, why did I make an appointment again? So anyway, basically, I keep waiting. And then basically I get a message on Monday afternoon at 5:45 saying, your car is ready. You can pick it up anytime before 5:30. It's like, okay, well, thanks. You guys gave me the text a little bit late, but anyway, it's like, fine, whatever. And basically this whole time I did have a loaner car. They gave me a Model S. So it is nice that I got to try the Model S and, it was just nice that I had a loaner car. But then at the same time, it's like, once I get into this a little bit more, it's like I didn't really need to have it for that long. So anyway, so I went to go get the car on Tuesday, and I go in there and there's a guy at the front. I'm like, hey, I'm here to pick up my car. And he goes, okay. He's looking at the paperwork and he's like, oh, hey, okay, this is what we did to the car. We fixed the squeak in your steering wheel. There was something that was not quite seated right. So we fixed that. And then we fixed the lining on the door. And then we fixed the steering wheel scratch too. So I'm kind of thinking, okay, that's great. Going back now that I'm driving the car, they did a good job on all those things where basically the steering wheel doesn't squeak anymore. And obviously the pinched rubber is not there anymore. But like I said, he told me that they fixed the steering wheel scratch. And first thing I did when I got into the car, I'm looking at the steering wheel and it's like, you guys didn't do anything. This is the same steering wheel that I had before. I can see the scratches on there. And there was this one little mark on the side. It was almost like a indicator that this is an individual, my individual steering wheel. So I know they didn't touch that. And I'm like, why did you even tell me that then that you fixed it? So they fixed a couple things that I pointed out in person, but the things I sent them emails about, they didn't even touch. And it's like, okay, so if I brought the car in, and I sent you an email, I told you about it, what were you planning to do with my car, like, for a whole week if basically I didn't tell you, if I didn't point out these other things? Like, what were you looking at your paper when I brought the car in? Was it blank? You know what I mean? So it was like, on one side, it's great that they fixed the things I pointed out, but on the other side, it's like, why did I bring the car in? Like, if you're not going to fix the things that I actually asked you about and emailed you and sent you pictures of, So I was like, okay, so that's kind of my mixed experience, because it's like they did some stuff that I asked them to do, but then they didn't do some stuff that I asked them to do, you know what I mean? So it was great that they fixed some stuff. They also didn't fix some stuff. And so the part that kind of bothered me the most is when I was there, the guy told me, oh, like any type of body work, so any type of body shop work, so basically paint, he's like, we're 3 months out right now to get that fixed. And he was like, oh, your IDA needs to actually put in like a work order for that type of stuff. And if you go back to my, one of my other videos about when I bought the Tesla, you'll know that my IDA sucks. She's freaking horrible. Did basically the minimum that she needed to do, which is basically just send me the purchase agreement. And that was it. So anyways, so when I sent the email to her and the service center, I knew she wasn't going to do anything with it. It was just going to basically get lost in her inbox, right? So of course, when I get there to Tesla, of course, she didn't do anything. She didn't put in the work order. And so basically that's, not going to get done for at least 3 months. So at that point, I'm like, meh, whatever. I'm not even going to worry about it. Like, I'll show you the pictures. So here's the picture of the actual mark, the little paint discrepancy, and it's so small. I don't really care. It's like, whatever. I'm not going to try and go to the service center again to have like a car for I don't want a car for 3 months. Screw that. You know what I mean? That's just not happening. So the paint thing I don't even care about. And then the marks I actually just fixed myself. Just got some, upholstery cleaner and fixed it. So the two things I brought it in for, I'm not even going to fix, or I fixed. And the two things I pointed out, they fixed. So that's great. So let's just say at this point, I'm staying as far away as possible from the service center at all costs. So that begs the question, what's going on with Tesla's customer service? What happened to the premier service that I had heard about? One obvious problem is with all the Model 3 owners now, they probably have 100 times more customers than they did before. Another issue I can see is because Tesla is a relatively new car company, only making cars for about 10 years, in comparison to other car companies that have been making cars for decades and decades, including Honda, Toyota, Ford. So basically what I'm trying to say is Tesla isn't a very organized company. And we all know Elon is a very visionary guy, which I agree with, but I would say his management style probably doesn't put his employees in the best position. He definitely does listen to his customers, as you've seen probably on Twitter multiple times. The latest being that they quietly raised supercharging prices to 31 cents a kilowatt, and after a lot of backlash from customers, he basically dropped it down to 28 cents a kilowatt. But the customer service mindset just doesn't seem to be part of the culture of the company. They also lack communication. I had to chase the service center for updates, and of course my IDA is pretty much non-existent, and so it would be nice if they would just send me a text, spend like 5 seconds, and let me know what's going on. Planning is also another big one. They also knew that when they revealed the Model 3 as the everyday car, that a bazillion people were going to want to get it. And of course that was confirmed with the 400,000 plus reservations in the first couple of days. And they had 2.5 years to plan this out, but at this point, they're still failing. Why didn't they use that 2.5 years to train the right people to fix the car and train the people up front to be able to handle this type of volume? So as you can see, Tesla's customer service is a big mess, and with more Model 3 owners coming, it's probably not going to get better anytime soon. Hopefully Tesla can get this figured out ASAP so their customers get a better experience, as of now, there's like a bazillion horror stories online. If you visited a service center recently, how was your experience? What do you think Tesla should do to get this issue fixed? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.